You know, Rob, you and I have both said that our number one most anticipated film of the year at this point is the new Denis Villeneuve film, Dune. And of course, they just dropped the trailer for Dune. And it looked pretty good to some of us, but I don't know if it appealed a lot to people who weren't looking forward to Dune already. But it is what it is. Still my most anticipated film of the year. One of the people who appeared in the trailer was, of course, one of the stars, Zendaya. By the way, I still don't know whether it's... I hear people say Zendaya, and I hear people say Zendaya.
I think it's Zendaya.
Is it Zendaya?
Yeah.
I've kind of been going with Zendaya. Whatever. She's very talented, at any rate. She, of course, appears in the trailer, but there's a news story that came out that are catching some people by surprise, but it really shouldn't all that much. Basically, it's being said, she just did an interview where she basically reveals that her role in this movie is very, very small because she only shot a couple of days. Here's what she said in her interview with Empire. That's why I'm so excited to see it, to see what everyone's been up to. Director Denis Villeneuve and I had a little discussion about who Chani is and the strength she possesses. She's a fighter. That's what her people are. I only really had a few days with her, so I kind of scratched the surface. But it was so much fun figuring her out. What does she walk like? What does she talk like? This is her planet, so how does she navigate this world? It was so fun. Denis is so kind and attentive to all of his actors. I was only there 4 days, and I did not want to leave. Denis understands what he wants from us, but he's also very collaborative, allowing me to have my take on the character as well. I don't want to jinx anything, but I can't wait to explore her more. So, Rob, they basically came out and said, yeah, she's don't expect to see a lot of Zendaya in this movie whatsoever. She's only on set for a few days. But you and I were talking before the show started. That really shouldn't confuse people much or concern people much when you know that the Dune story is being broken into two separate movies. If the first one does well enough to justify a second, it's being split into two. And we know that this character actually has the lion's share of their influence in the story in the second half of the story, really more. So I would actually have been more surprised to hear that she actually had a big, massive part in this first movie when really it should be pushed off the second. Rob, how do you see this whole thing?
Well, I read the script. And just to answer this question, I pulled up the script and I'm looking at it right now. Chani appears first as herself, where she speaks on page 116 of the script.
Wow.
Now, yeah, 116, page 116 of the script. And let me come to the end. The script the version I have is 130 pages. So she appears 14 pages before the end of the movie, which makes sense because this is only the first half of Dune. So obviously Paul dreams of her, but you don't know who it is. But it's not until page 116, and this is the John Spates, Eric Roth, Denis Villeneuve draft. I can't again, I don't know how they've edited the film together, but at least on the page, it's 14 pages before the end of the movie. So take that as you will. I can also say that this is a fantastic script, and it's by far the best adaptation of the book that we've seen, and I cannot wait for this movie.
Yeah, this is something we've both been looking for. Now, unfortunately, you and I have both seen movies that did not turn out to be very good when they had scripts that we actually enjoyed very much. So sometimes it gets lost in the execution. But this is a director I just don't see any reason not to have all the faith in the world in. He's going to make something great out of this. It's just a matter of whether people are going to rush out to see it. I mean, that's the only question left. That's the question.
I mean, it's the tone of the film. Is this, especially coming after what the year we've had. But I do think that in terms of thoughtful, beautifully realized, classic, deep science fiction, So I just wish that they were making all 6 of Frank Herbert's books, because what a journey that would be. And wow, thousands of years of time and crazy evolution and all that. I just hope this movie, I want this movie to make $1 billion, so they make the second one and then they make Dune Messiah and Children of Dune and God Emperor of Dune and Heretics of Dune and Chapter House Dune, because that would make me really happy.
Well, and the reality is, I think Warner Brothers believes in this property so much, and I think they understand. Look, Warner Brothers understands that it's a little bit of an uphill fight with Dune. It's a property that hasn't had a lot of success previously in its live action adaptations. They understand it's more of a heady kind of thing. I don't even think Warner Brothers is setting the bar at $1 billion. Like, I don't think Dune needs to make $1 billion for Warner Brothers to bunker down and move forward with more films. I think if the first Dune can make, I'll be honest with you, I think the first Dune can even lose a little bit of money. I will bet you that Dune could even lose a little bit of money and Warner Brothers would go, okay. Because if people love this movie and they get enough people out there to almost break even or maybe even make a little bit of money, I think they're going to go, if everybody loved it, great. Now we can move forward because now word of mouth is going to get out there that this movie was great and we'll do the second one and the second one will do even better. So I'm thinking if this movie makes like 500 million, I honestly, I think it guarantees a sequel. I think if they make 500, it guarantees a sequel. What do you think that number is?
You know, you might be right about that. It depends how much they spend. I will never understand why they didn't just bite the bullet and make both shoot the whole book and amortize the costs, because it's the same people, same locations, same visual effects. You know, it baffles me that they didn't want to pull the trigger and amortize those costs and make both movies at once and film the whole book.
You know why. 2 words, or is it 3 words? Blade Runner 2049. That's why. I know. Like, I think they can lose a little bit of money, but they can't lose Blade Runner kind of money.
No,
like they can't lose that, because if they lose that much money, then they're screwed. But I don't know. We'll have to see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Question is, what do you think about that? I mean, probably many of you guys know the book, so many of you already knew that her character doesn't really appear till later on, but maybe it caught some of you by surprise. Jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.